Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the game according to me. Another week, another podcast. This one is particularly a little bit different. We are back coming to you on a Tuesday, since we've got Thursday being Thanksgiving, right? We can only do podcasts today or on Tuesday. Um, Next week it will be back on Thursday. And I think for the most part it'll be right. It'll be continue to be on Thursday until the end of the year. We'll probably do a special one for the Super Bowl on Monday morning, recapping the Super Bowl and things like that. But I think for the most part, I think we will be on Thursday. So yes. So this week we are going to talk about Week 12 of the college football season. We're going to talk about Week 11 of the NFL season. We had Survivor Series, Final Farewell of The Undertaker, some things from NBA free agency, and a whole lot of other stuff. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. So let's start with the NBA free agency thing here. It started right the Friday or Saturday, right after the draft. And immediately we were hearing of contract extensions. There was even a rumor that there was even a signing trade with Bogdan Bogdanovic and the Kings going to the Bucks, but that was maybe that I guess that had been done away because it was before the actual free agency opening, so that had been canceled, just like the Chris Paul trade had been before. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are actually kind of crazy here. But let's really quickly just go through some of the bigger names that have happened. Goran Dragic stayed with the Miami Heat, 2-year, $37.4 million contract. He is a major part of what happened with Miami going to the NBA Finals this year. So he stays in Miami. That sounds good. De'Aaron Fox, good up and coming point guard for the Kings, stays with the Kings. 5-year, $163 million max extension. Good for him. Danilo Gallinari goes to the Atlanta Hawks, 3-year, $61.5 million contract. He should help them out. Marc Gasol, Lakers is getting more bigs, 2-year contract with the Lakers. So Lakers continue to get big because they lose Dwight Howard. He signed with the 76ers for a 2-year, or 1-year deal. So that was interesting. I don't know how they're gonna work that because I guess maybe they'll either move him to power forward or they'll move Embiid to power forward. Who knows? I mean, maybe Dwight Howard would just come off the bench and replace Embiid. Give him some time off. But because the Sixers did get rid of Anthony Al Horford. I don't know why I don't want to call him Anthony Horford for some reason. But they got rid of Anthony. See if they call him again. You know why? I'm thinking about Carmelo Anthony. That's the next name I saw. Carmelo Anthony signed a 1-year deal to stay with the Blazers, so he's continuing his journey. Montrezl Harrell goes from the Clippers to the Lakers, 2-year, $19 million contract, which is very interesting. How about Gordon Hayward? He left $34 million on the table. A lot of people were talking about, will he be able to get that? Yes, he did. He got it from Charlotte Hornets, 4-year, $120 million contract, $30 million per year for Gordon Hayward. He will go down there and try to help the Hornets finally make it into the playoffs. So good for him. He had that nasty injury several years ago, and he's never been the same. And it seems like he always has flare-ups of some type of leg injury. So we have to see how it continues to happen. DeMarcus Cousins last night signed a 1-year contract, It's non-guaranteed with the Houston Rockets. So we'll see what. I think the Houston Rockets are still trying to play. I don't think they're going to trade Westbrook. I don't think they're going to trade hard. I think they're going to try to keep it going down there because they think that's what's best for the team. So we will definitely see. Um, Sterling Brown. That name sounds familiar. Sterling Brown is not a big name, but Sterling Brown is the guy who in Milwaukee was accosted by some cops. Apparently, he just finished up with I think a lawsuit. Apparently, and with there, and he's also the one who he was the leader of the walkout of the Milwaukee Bucks once the guy James Blake, or not James Blake, but whoever it was, I can't think of your name right now, but the guy who was killed in Milwaukee by a cop. He's the one that led the walkout of the Milwaukee Bucks during the playoffs. So he signed a contract with the Houston Rockets now. So he is now Houston Rockets. Big Joe Harris. Love this guy. 4 years, $70 million contract to stay with the Brooklyn Nets. I think that's good. Big Joe Harris is a 3-point shooter. Great guy. And he won the 3-point contest several years ago. I think he's going to be a big addition for the Nets. Nets also signed Jeff Green. So I think when you put everything together with the Nets, a healthy Kyrie, a healthy Kevin Durant, I don't think they're going to get James Harden, but add Joe Harris to the side, add Jeff Green, they're going to be really, really good. I think they are. I think they're going to be a big force to come when it comes to the Eastern Conference. So, Herman Lopez, who played with his brother Brook in Milwaukee, he goes to the Washington Wizards, 1 year, $7.3 million contract. The Lakers get Wesley Matthews, a sharpshooter, 1 year, $3.6 million contracts. The Lakers are still just making sure that they are going to get they're going to have people who can shoot from the outside. They traded away Danny Green, so they decided to sign Wesley Matthews. They're going to make sure that they stay there. Markieff Morris stays there in the Lakers, and Marcus Morris, his brother, goes. Was he with the Clippers already? I think he was. And he's going to stay in Clippers. So both Markieff and Morris, for the longest time, they always wanted to play with each other. They never wanted to play, separately. They want to play on the same team. They're not playing on the same team, but they're playing in the same city, so they'll be together. Twins are like that. Twins, they have that unbreakable bond sometimes. So that's something that you take a look out for. Mason Plumlee signs a 3-year, $25 million extension with the Detroit Pistons, and I think he signed with the Detroit Pistons because Christian Wood, a very young and very talented big man from the Pistons, he agreed to a 3-year contract, $41 million with the Houston Rockets. So now you have Houston Rockets down there, and there are some other things that are going to be very interesting. So Jeff Teague signs a 1-year deal with the Boston Celtics. He should back up Kemba Walker. And Jason Tatum he agreed to a 5-year, $153 million extension with the Celtics. So, and also, how about this last one? Fred VanVleet agreed to a 4-year, $85 million contract with the Toronto Raptors. That's the most ever for an undrafted player in the NBA. Way to go, Fred VanVleet. He is also a local guy from Chicago, the Chicago area. So, shout out to Fred VanVleet. And we've got more heading this year throughout the rest of the year, as really the season is coming up very quickly apparently, because they're going to start like December 22nd or something like that. So basically in less than a month. So more signings, more things like that should be happening. Maybe seeing some more trades. We'll see if what's his face Harden gets his chance to go to Brooklyn, or if Vessels gets traded, or what other things will happen. So it's gonna be some really good fun. You know what? And I think I have to do a preview podcast of that. I try to do the best thing I can with everything so crazy is happening. But yeah, I'll do an NBA preview show if I can, and we'll see if I can get all this stuff together and make it happen. But yes, some very interesting start to NBA free agency so far. On to college football as this week in the top 25. I should say this past week in the top 25. There were some interesting series. The one game, the game that was supposed to be the one was supposed to be Ohio State and Indiana. Ohio State went out to a big lead. Indiana came back, had a chance, but lost at the very end. Ohio State beat Indiana 42 to 35. Excuse me. We also had some other games. Oregon beat UCLA 38-35. They are seem to be on a collision course with the USC Trojans, who beat Utah 33-17. Oklahoma beat Oklahoma State. A big surprise for me because I thought Oklahoma State was going to give Oklahoma a piece of their mind. That did not happen. They whooped them 41-13. Auburn beat Tennessee 30-17. Northwestern took down Wisconsin. The Fighting Reese Davises 17-7. If you don't know what that's about, I guess last week some point Joey Galloway said on the TV that Northwestern has has a bunch of talent that's close to Reese Davis. Basically trying to say that, basically non-athletes who were playing in Northwestern, and they whooped up on Wisconsin a little bit, 17-7. So Northwestern has a shot, maybe to face Ohio State once again in the Big Ten title game. So let's keep it continuing for Northwestern. Let's go. Cincinnati took down UCF 36-33. They're still undefeated. BYU taking it down North Alabama. BYU is still doing it, and they are still part of the college football playoff, which will happen tonight. Tonight on ESPN, the first rankings of the college football playoff. I think you should see some form of Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Clemson being the top four, with Florida, BYU, and Cincinnati somewhere in that final six. One of those three in that first two out. So speaking of Alabama, they whooped on Kentucky 63-3, and Iowa State beat up on Kansas State 45-0. A really big, massive blowout. So this upcoming week, we start on Friday. And as we said, this is normally in a normal year, this would be the final week. This would be the week where we would see Notre Dame and USC. We would see Michigan, Ohio State. We would see some of the rivalry games happening, and we got a couple rivalry games happening. Oregon versus Oregon State. I forget what their name of their game is, but they are playing today. They're playing. Louisiana Lafayette versus Louisiana Monroe. That's a big rivalry game that we get at the end of the year. Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl. Yes, we're getting the Iron Bowl this week. That's good stuff as well. So we are getting some. We are getting some rivalry games, but we're also getting some other games. Some smaller rivalry games, not some that you see at the end of the year. We get Florida and Florida State. We're not getting that. Florida's taking on Kentucky. Can Cal Trask keep it continue? Keep Florida State doing this thing. We've got Ohio State, Illinois. They fight for a trophy, I believe, and Northwestern is taking on Michigan State. Should be a fun matchup. Clemson is taking on Pittsburgh. I think very interesting. Their game, Clemson Florida State game, was canceled. That was Sweeney says Florida State canceled because they didn't want to play us. So we'll have to see what is big time with that. Iowa State, Texas. That's gonna be a good game in the Big 12. I think one of the big ones is Notre Dame versus UNC, North Carolina. Notre Dame is on a collision course to meet Clemson again in the ACC. But North Carolina is a great team. They can't look past this team. They have to take them seriously. The other week, I don't think it was last week, but the other week, UNC put up for 500 yards of offense. and that quarterback is pretty darn good. If Notre Dame wants to stay in this situation, they need to take down UNC on Friday. So that's going to be a big game on Friday. Georgia and South Carolina is going to be an interesting game on Saturday. LSU, Texas A&M, SEC country, and then Oklahoma and West Virginia should be a very fun night of college football. And yes, this is going to be pretty interesting again. But I think the big thing, the big one to come out are Notre Dame and UNC. That's the big one this week. That happens Friday. So, can Notre Dame keep it continue, or will UNC upset and have them fighting? Because I believe UNC only has one loss. Clemson one loss, Notre Dame one loss, Miami was one loss, meaning I believe Miami Florida has one loss. They didn't play as well either. Their game was canceled, meaning that which one of those two teams, which one of those two of those four teams with one loss would play in the ACC championship game. And if Notre Dame loses, that's even though they beat Clemson, that could push them out, and it could be North Carolina and Clemson. So the reason why we're doing this podcast on Thanksgiving is because not only is Thanksgiving, but there's football happening on Thanksgiving very early. As usual, the Lions and Cowboys take their spotlight on Thanksgiving Day, and for the past decade or so, we've had a third game on Thanksgiving, and I've been thankful for that. This year it's the Ravens versus Steelers. The Ravens are a little bit injured, not injured, but a little bit sick, I guess you could say, as the two running backs, Ingram and Dobbins, are on the COVID-19 list, and they will not play. So they are going to be shorthanded going against the perfect 10-0 Steelers. The Texans early in the morning will take on the Lions. Deshaun Watson gets national TV spotlight, and the football team, the Washington Redskins and Alex Smith, will take on the Dallas Cowboys. I think this is the game right here. It might determine who is actually going to win the NFC East. Because whoever wins this game will have the momentum going into the rest of the season, and I think this could lead both to winning the NFC least, as they have been called. So those are those three games for on Sunday. We can also look forward here. The Chargers taking on the Bills. That should be a really good game. Bills just come off a bye. Chargers come off a pretty good win, so we need to check them out. The Titans and the Colts are going to be another barn burner again on Sunday. That's going to be a really good one. The Panthers and the Vikings. I don't know if Christian McCaffrey will play, but and don't know if Teddy Bridgewater will play. But they beat the Lions this past Sunday, so they should get a chance to take out the Vikings. Browns and Jaguars. Browns should take them out. Giants and Bengals, and Joe Burrow tore his ACL and MCL and PCL and everything. So it really is just it's unfortunate, I think, for Joe Burrow. He's having a great year as a rookie. And it's unfortunate. Here's what I will say. For those pundits who are saying, well, this never should have happened, you should have been protecting him. No, they were doing the right thing. They were passing the ball because, first of all, this is a passing league. You want to make sure that he can pass the ball, and he proved it time and time again. So, this isn't 1980 where you run the ball 30 times. He doesn't need to. He needed to pass the ball to prove that he could do it, so that he can learn from his mistakes. That's what Peyton Manning did. That's the best way to do it. You learn from your mistakes that way. So it's an unfortunate freak injury. That's all it is. The Cardinals and Patriots. The Cardinals need to get back on track. So do the Patriots. If both teams want to make the playoffs, they need to win Sunday. The Dolphins and the Jets. Dolphins should come back up from a loss to the Broncos. They should take out the New York Football Jets. Raiders and the Falcons. Raiders again, same thing with the Raiders. If they want to make the playoffs, you got to beat these Falcons, and these Falcons have been playing well under Raheem Morris, so they won't be a slouch. Saints and Broncos, again, the Broncos are looking for a playoff spot as well. Now with 7 spots, there's that extra spot they can make it in. But the Saints, Taysom Hill, proving that he can play the position of quarterback. Let's hope that he keeps it going on Sunday against the Broncos. 49ers and Rams, it's a big game. 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo probably will not play the rest of the season. So here's the thing. Are they going to quit, or are they going to try to fight for playoff spot themselves? The Rams just beat the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. It's time for the Rams to show what they got and who's the class of that division. The Buccaneers, by the way, they're playing the Chiefs. This is going to be a great matchup between Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, probably the best quarterback the past couple of years against the best quarterback going forward. So this is going to be a real good matchup. I can't wait to see it. Sunday night, my Bears go against the Green Bay Packers to get blown out once again. Quarterback Nick Foles, he had a hip pointer in that last game on Monday Night Football. Mr. Trubisky is still suffering from a shoulder injury. Who knows who will play? It's the kind of thing Mitch Trubisky was throwing yesterday, but Nick Foles is on the list as being the quarterback to talk to on Wednesday. So who knows? We could get to Sunday and it could end up being Tyler Brady, because they both are not good. And then Monday Night Football, the Seahawks versus the Eagles. Again, this would be Seahawks should mollywop the Eagles. If the Seahawks lose to the Eagles, and we've got bigger problems in Seattle than we think. And finally, not last night, but a couple nights ago was Survivor Series. So some really good matches. If you have not seen it, my recommendation is to go and watch it. It was a great tag match between the New Day and the Street Profits. Some really good stuff from Team Raw and Team SmackDown in the women's and men's match. Yes, but in the match between the champions, Drew and Roman Reigns was incredible as well. That being said, it was all about The Undertaker, 30 years celebrating The Undertaker, and it was really, really good. Came out there, said a little small thing. I think I agree with most of everybody else that says we really, it's really wish it could have been in front of fans, so the fans could really, give him what he wants. But maybe, that's for the Hall of Fame. When he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, maybe that is when we can, as fans, really truly show our love to The Undertaker. Hashtag thank you, Taker. That is going to be it for it this week. This is, again, make sure next week, make sure you understand next week we'll be back doing it on Thursday. So this week was once again because of Thanksgiving. So you're going to make sure that you catch me out next week, back on Thursday. You know the deal, patron.com/AJTRIP. Become a patron. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, I can open up the stuff so that you can be able to vote on what you want to vote, or give me suggestions on what you want me to talk about here on the podcast, what games you want me to play over on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ATRIP20, or my YouTube channel, named AJTRIP, youtube.com/ATRIP20. Or if you want to support me directly through Anchor FM, which is my hosting podcast, although you can find it where all your podcasts are located. Anchor FM. The reason why I use Anchor.fm is because of the sponsorships. You can sponsor me for 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99. I don't know, sponsor me. It's not sponsor, but it's another way of saying it. But yes, those 3 tiers. Now you don't get nothing that comes with those tiers. It's just that you like my content so much that you want me to have something from it. And trust me, anything you would do would be so meaningful to me. But you don't have to. And just keep enjoying my content. Make sure you share everything and all that stuff. So once again, I appreciate each and every one of the people who listen. So thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.